Granby Conservation Commission. Today is Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. It is 7 p.m. I'm going to open up the building and Board of Health applications or permits. Anybody here for a building permit? Okay, I believe these two gentlemen here are first. Your name?
Richard Arnott.
What's the address?
144 East Street.
144 East Street. And what's the project?
Building a house.
Do you have any paperwork with you as far as the location of the house, size of the house,
Yeah.
proximity to any wetland? Was that Amanda? 140?
144
144.
East Street.
All right.
Approximately in this location here. 2,000 square foot house.
Do you have that on the?
Yeah. It's kind of
Trying to get my bearings. Where is that? On East Street? Is there an existing
Just
house in the
past
front?
Middleton Road.
Correct. There's an
Okay.
existing house in the front.
This is the existing house. This
I think it's on the
is
south side. Is it near some of the Westover absorbed properties? You have
I think that's on the
Yeah.
other
black
side.
fences are nearby?
Oh, okay, past, was
That's
it
about
Sher?
4 houses from the level
Sherwood?
road.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
That's subdivision there, is that Sherwood?
Oh, you're near Corvallis.
That is Acrebrook.
The guy that does the pumpkins
Over
across
here
the street?
is Acrebrook.
Yeah.
Well, that's New Ludlow
And
Road.
this is New
Okay.
Ludlow,
New
yes.
Ludlow Road, okay. Is that the existing brick house that's there?
Correct. in the front
That
there.
brick house that's kind of all overgrown?
No, that's next door.
Next door,
It's not
okay.
that one, no. We tried to buy that one, but
Okay.
can't do it.
Do you have the property lines overlaid, Amanda? I see the property lines are overlaid
What do you mean over?
on the GIS. Are the tax parcels on there?
Oh, yeah.
I can't see, it's
Oh,
just
it's
kind of
blue.
faded.
Yeah. I don't know why it's blue on there, but blue
Is
on
it
my
an
screen.
estate lot?
It looks like it.
It's
Yeah.
a deep lot?
It's 130 feet of frontage.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a deep lot then.
And
You can kind of see on my screen. I can't move my computer. It's tethered to the machine.
so it's going on existing lawn, pretty much what's there?
Yeah.
Looks like it's going in this
Yeah, it's
corner.
pretty much all in the open field there. Yeah, about
Yeah.
that area.
And it's
See an issue at this point.
farthest extent away from the wetland too.
Yeah. You already have your
If you
perk
could
test?
zoom out,
Perk
Amanda,
test.
please, I just want to get the little better bearing on where we are.
That's East Street, right?
So,
I mean,
This is New
Ludlow,
Ludlow, this is East, and
Truby.
this is
Okay.
Acrebrook.
and Truby's over there.
You only move
Yeah,
from
Truby.
99?
Yeah, if we could just move back a little
Watch your
bit.
step.
Okay.
This is Truby, and this
Truby.
is kind of where the entrance is.
Is there any floodplain there? No floodplain?
I don't have FEMA turned on.
Out of,
That's fine.
sorry.
Billy, you cut that field? Who cuts that field?
Whereabouts?
Where this guy's building his house, that open field there. No, it's between East Street and the Ludlow line.
It's the old one.
Okay. Do you have your building? I'm gonna make a motion to approve the building permit for a single-family residential house located
Where's he putting the house in?
Over
Yeah,
in this
just-
corner,
just-
the far side.
far corner, back corner. You got East Street's up here,
Yeah,
you're down here at the end.
yeah, that's fine, that's
Over
fine.
here. And there actually is floodplain layer.
Okay,
I
Way
think
over.
this is 500, and
Sure.
we're way over here.
okay,
So,
that's fine.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you have your building permit with you?
No, he told us to come here first.
Yeah, that's
He
probably
said he has
better.
no
Yeah, we'll
problem-
do
He has
that.
no problem with doing it as long as you guys are okay.
Usually they give you the building permit, you sign off on it, but that's okay. If the building inspector wants to call,
I'll call him, I'll talk to Greg tomorrow
Okay.
on your behalf.
Okay, great.
Okay, and it's 144 East? Okay,
Correct.
I'll talk to him about that. Okay, thanks for coming in.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, guys.
Yeah.
second building permit, I think was, are you here for a building permit? Yeah, okay.
Okay, good. So, solar?
Second building permit?
Yep. Where did you say that was?
187 Taylor Street.
the other?
I'm on behalf of Trinity Solar.
All right, so you got the landowner?
Yes.
You are the landowner?
Or what?
Are you the landowner?
No, sir.
No problem.
Just on behest of Mr. Reynolds.
What's the owner's name?
Russell Reynolds? Or, yeah, Russell Reynolds. Would you like a plan set?
No, no, I'm good. Thank
Would you?
Sure.
So kind
Do you
of.
have the GIS open there?
Yep, so it's right in here.
And same thing, no, it's
There's
all
nothing
on
on the
grass.
property, and it is all lawn.
Yep,
Oh, yeah, that's the property lines.
exactly. Okay. So, anyone have any questions regarding it?
Is it ground mounted system?
It looks like it
For
is.
residential or commercial?
Residential.
Okay, how many kilowatts?
It is,
10?
it is 13 kilowatts DC.
Okay. How many panels?
It is,
Quite a bit.
Yeah,
yeah,
let me just see it. I don't want to touch the paper, but it shows me.
definitely.
All right, that's out in the field, that's fine. No worries.
So I make a motion to approve a, solar panel installation behind house number 187 Taylor Street.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Not to make things more complicated too. It requires a trench. Do I need a trenching permit as well?
That's through the building inspector, not through.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
got it.
Yeah, for your conduit, that's
I'll
fine.
make sure that gets.
Yeah, that's no problem. Brooksy, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you.
What's the address?
How was your winter?
It's summer. Okay. Wait till next week. I'll
Yeah,
answer the
we're
question.
gonna get a snowstorm.
Amanda?
You guys gonna keep any of these?
No, we don't keep any of that.
Okay.
No, so I don't.
Yeah, here, hold it, just you hold it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. The next building permit,
What's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in a long time.
If
If we didn't have COVID-19, I'd give you an elbow pop, but forget that.
what's the property address?
It's 107.5 Carver Street.
107.5 Carver. 107 and a half Carver.
Yeah, there's a 107 and 109, so that's all that's left.
We have a septic design plan here by Paul Kempen. Is it
Campagna.
Campagna. There you go. Good French name.
Let's see. Paul's doing septic designs now.
No, I'm doing it. He's saying.
Oh. Yeah, that's great. That's on the record, right? That's great.
Go ahead, do we have a overlay of the wetlands?
I do have a big Google, so houses right around in this area.
Okay.
This line is 700 feet, so the closest wetland is,
Other far corner. Is it this one? This, or is it this? I know, isn't that awful?
It's right behind the,
it's an old gravel bed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Narakis is located to the north.
I'm recusing myself on this one.
This one. Narakis is up here, the gravel pit, I believe, further up. Zoom out if you want. And then Lion Street is to the south, or to the west. There you go.
I wish the contrast was better, because I'm looking for the blue here that I'm getting. My eyes are getting.
No, it's the screen, it's just really
The
bad.
bulb is just about at it.
I can tell the blue tones.
Sometimes if you tap the frame a little bit, you'll kick the other gun in.
Sometimes it'll just cause it to
Like
pop.
a Fonzie.
Yeah,
Like a
I'm just saying, sometimes it causes
I
it.
know.
okay.
Sometimes it
So,
doesn't.
Just don't wanna mess with this, that's it. Then we'll lose everything.
not a problem. Amanda, do we have any wetlands close by?
Okay,
that you
so
can
I just
see?
wanted to make sure that I was looking at the right parcel. Is it
Yes,
this?
yes.
Yeah, that one.
Yep,
Yes.
square?
Yep.
Okay, great.
And there's the
That's that little smidge of wetland
smidge right there, and then the,
It's that wetland.
yep, and where are they putting the,
Yeah, we're way up here.
Houses.
So this, if I orientate it with this is this, go down, the house is right
In the
in this
middle.
area.
okay, so you're
This is
way,
repair, Neil,
No, this is
repair,
way down.
new construction?
But we're 650, 700 feet away from that wetland.
Okay,
So,
so even if the map's off 300 feet, we're still good.
we're still good.
Yeah.
Nice margin of error.
A hefty margin of error.
are you, we all set with this for
I'm
new
all
construction?
set with that.
Any questions? Anyone make a motion? I'll make a motion to approve a building permit for 107.5 Carver Street as depicted on plan, septic plan.
I have a second? Who's leading?
Second.
There's a second. I have a second.
For the building permit.
For the building permit at Carver Street.
Did you second it?
I second it,
She
yeah.
seconded, so all in favor?
Who's,
She
yeah.
was seconding.
I was seconding, I was, and I.
Yeah, that's what I'm
All in
saying.
favor? Aye.
I'm like, who's leading the meeting? Because I can't.
You are at this point now.
For the minutes, I'm recused on
All right.
Soon. All right, you have your building permit?
That's what happens when you come late,
You want
right?
that
I just
copy?
gave you the job.
You need
Of
it?
course not.
You're not making a formal filing RDA
Oh, yeah,
or line,
just-
so.
this. Did you have Board of Health yet, Neil?
Blind.
Board of Health signed up.
Oh, they did. Did you meet tonight with them? Yeah?
No, they were signed up.
Okay,
Because-
okay, that's fine.
You probably need us to sign a permit, but if you don't have a permit with you.
Well, my client didn't show up, so if you could let.
Yeah, I'll talk to Greg tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna show up. You probably forgot.
Hey, good to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you.
All right, so we're still at Board
Like you
of,
say, we all
building
lost a
Board
lot
of
of money in
Health.
the stock
Is
market
there
the
anyone
last
else?
couple of days, but it'll come
I don't
back.
know, anyone else here
It'll come back,
for a
yeah.
building permit?
It's a buying opportunity, as they say. That's right, that's right, that's right.
Was it?
that's
All right, so what do we
That's
got?
right.
Hold on, back on schedule, so I got
7:12.
You got,
Bye, Neil.
thanks, you got 18 minutes.
18 minutes? All right. Bill, any commentary? Because that's always your fave.
Oh, we already did commentating. And the
Fan.
commentating was if anyone sneezes in the room, please leave the room.
Okay, have you not read the CDC report?
I've read a lot of, and I've done my own
Okay, have you
research.
done, have you done this, have you read the CDC and then
I read the Johns Hopkins data. And again, the bottom line
it's
is.
incomplete data because we don't have
Listen,
everything.
listen, if anyone sneezes in this room and they don't leave, I'm leaving, so. If
right.
you want me to leave, just sneeze, no worries.
So let's post our next meeting to Tuesday, April 14th, 2020.
Right, Kev, you and I are over 60, we're vulnerable groups.
That's right.
Let's just run the meeting and get
We're
through the
the only
agenda.
two in here over 60, all these guys are young folks.
There's only a few that are.
That's right.
All right, so I saw the minutes, Amanda, you emailed the minutes.
I did.
I wasn't able to open them through my phone because I don't have a,
I didn't actually finish the
I
second
don't
round.
have a DLC,
You have a dog
program.
app? No dog app?
no,
Oh, they weren't in Word?
no, not on my phone.
Oh.
Opens up real slow, so I don't bother opening it.
Yeah.
So you're not, we have no minutes to approve at this point. That's
Did,
fine.
did Wenda draft the minutes last time? or did
Yeah, I
you
sent
do
them
it?
out to everyone. I had updated one of them, like gone through
Okay.
and fixed any errors.
I'm sure they're
And,
fine. I'm
well, I
sure-
didn't do it with the second round,
Okay.
the second one.
Bills to pay.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
I have an invoice here dated 2/20/2020 from Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissioners for a total of $125. It's the annual conference of the one from Worcester.
Yeah.
So, and
Well,
this
there
is,
should be two of those,
I have-
Amanda and I both.
yep.
Yeah, well, mine was only $20, because I was a moderator.
Oh, that's right, okay, you got the price.
I don't have that here, Amanda.
Oh.
I don't know why. Did you
I did
get?
tell them that I hadn't paid yet.
All right, so if you can pay that and then give us the invoice.
Okay.
So this
I
will
wasn't
come,
sure if they like surprised me and it was here.
no. So
You mean-
I'll make a motion to approve this invoice for the MACC conference in Worcester, last month for $125.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Did anyone talk to Linda? I called her
She is
today.
supposed to be here, she'll be here shortly, I would imagine. Okay, I'm gonna make this, today's date is,
10.
So the 10th?
10th.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Post through the next meeting. Any other bills? Anybody have any bills or no?
I have a lot of bills if you want to pay.
Did Emily send a bill?
I don't see that in here. I see
Okay, she also sent
a
another bill, okay.
I
it's
see a
fine.
correspondence from the 10th of February regarding the Mass DOT roundabout. I don't think there's an invoice in here. So I'm gonna move on. Item number 5, financial accounts, quarterly updates.
You get a copy
I
of
do have one here.
the latest one? I don't know that I can read them. I mean, it's always a good thing. If you make the document so difficult to read, then you don't really know what's going on.
That's what they do in Washington every day. You think
Okay.
the senators read 1,200-page documents before they vote on them?
All right, so I have a
Of
financial
course they
quarterly
do. What are you talking about?
dated March 9th, 2020. Somebody wants to go through this, seeing how we don't have a treasurer.
We haven't had a treasurer since I was the last treasurer, when they took the money in the checkbook.
That's right, it was about 10 years ago.
Yep. There was no point in having a treasurer when we didn't have a checkbook or an account anymore.
Let us mark it red, received. Here's a stapler.
I have a cute outreach when we get there.
What's that?
I have a cute thing about outreach.
Here you go.
I do. I'll just wait for you.
Thank you.
So anybody out there who actually watches these things, I have a student, a friend of mine's son, who is doing a invasive plant study. And so I don't have the contacts with me of there's a part of the, is it Mass DOT, that they actually have a link where you can call someone if you're interested in removing invasive species. They'll help you in they're helping this kid identify aquatic for a pond he has in his area and fill out his NOI so that he can go in and remove invasive species as a project. So anybody who's looking for some school project out there, scanning, looking for something.
Well, actually, we did that for Forge Pond last year, I think.
Yeah.
There was a group that did some eradication up at Forge Pond.
Oh.
So commissions do that from time to time.
And it's kind of cool what the kid was going through, but he found the actual people who will come in and like support.
Yeah.
They actually get paid to help these little mini projects go. I didn't know there was someone who actually would go in and they would identify and tag and help you figure out the population so that you could then put your plan in and you know, they stock this one little pond in the back of his property every year for a fish derby. I forget what town he lives in. And he's like, yeah, I just want to be able to get rid of the invasive species. I was like, oh. So we did a little research on it and found that there's actually people in the state, you can call them and they'll help
Is
set
it
it up.
water chestnut? What are the species?
He's got to find out this year. He was talking to me this winter, and I haven't seen the pond, it's not in our jurisdiction, so. And he said that, and he sent me his little NOI, they show you like a form and how to fill it out to send it to your conservation board, and they'll approve it, and you can go in there and sample and remove populations and monitor. So, cool little educational tip for kids looking for a project.
Great.
There's
Thank
plenty
you.
of wetlands out here that need removal of invasive species.
Okay.
Is that
Josh's trying to get these notices together.
FEMA project? Is that the Mass Highway?
All set with the commentary?
Yep, there's nothing else. I
Anybody else
wait
have any
on-
commentary?
We have 10 minutes.
Okay.
Are you here for a building permit?
No.
Are you here for a building permit?
Oh, okay.
Okay, moving on to notices, ZBA and Planning Board et al. I have a, start. Special permit ZBA site plan review, Planning Board, name of project 198 Bachelor Street, Clark Barn, over 12,000 square feet. Letter is from the Planning Board, Glenn Sexton, Chair, dated February 19th, 2020. Planning Board has received a site plan for the above named project in the town. The Planning Board is forwarding a copy of those plans to you for your review and comments. It is requested that any comments you have been, that you have be sent in writing to the Planning Board by March 5th. There you go. 2020. And sent/given to Kathy Leonard at the Select Board office. These comments, along with input, will be received and considered by the Planning Board and completes the review and demonstration. I believe this was here last week with the Clarks for a building permit, and we already signed off on it because there was no wetland jurisdiction. So if, I'm gonna mark this received today's date.
That's your project, Bill? Okay. That's
So-
fine. No worries.
Again, we all reviewed this last time, off of Bachelor Street. Today is 3/10/20.
We couldn't vote on it last night because the zoning board didn't have a quorum.
Oh, they
Not the zoning board, the,
ZBA.
yeah.
I have a letter here from South Hadley Fire District Number 2 dated February 11th, 2020 regarding PC meeting. I'm guessing that's a Prudential Committee. So I'm not sure why they sent it to us. I'm guessing as in a butter, the town was notified. So received.
Who's on our behalf? What company is it?
The Fire District 2,
No, what's the other?
Prudential Committee,
The what?
the Prudential Committee.
What is that?
That's the governing board for the water district.
I've never
They
heard of
are
it.
the
Never heard-
overseers, if you will, I guess.
Never heard of them.
There's 2 committees for District 1 and District 2.
Oh, I didn't realize there were subcommittees to one. and two.
Yeah.
I thought it was
They,
just
they
one and two.
basically are in charge of the, I call it the water
Yeah,
department.
okay.
I have a postcard here regarding landowners are impacting your future land use in town. This, I believe, is for the masswoods.org, Future My Land Open Space Committees. On Monday, March 16th at 6:30 PM, Community Room of South Hadley Public Library at 2 Canal Street, South Hadley, Mass. Join a local conservation professionals and open space committee for panel discussion and network event. Free event, all are welcome, and best of all, desserts will be served. So if you want desserts,
Well, I'm gonna bring it to school, I'm sure.
yeah, if
A
you
lot of people
want,
would be interested.
that's fine. I have a document here from FEMA dated February 19th, 2020, and this is to the Board of Selectmen, Town of Granby, Mr. Jay Joyce, and it's regarding the final Chicopee Watershed Discovery Report. I would imagine this is available at the Selectmen's office, anybody wants to read it. Looks like it's pretty in-depth. Not sure if it's available in PDF.
What's it about, Ed, briefly?
I would imagine the watershed, and it's, well, if you want, I can read it.
Well, isn't there an executive summary?
Let me see.
It should be right under the cover, maybe there's some abstract.
I can, the first paragraph is usually tells, thank you for participating in the Federal Emergency Management Agency's risk mapping, assessment, and planning, also called risk map. This discovery process for the Chicopee watershed, the discovery process which identifies the priorities and areas of concern for communities within a watershed, helps FEMA and the communities better understand the project that may help reduce their risk from natural disasters. So I'm guessing
Okay.
floodplain, stuff like that.
Okay, pollution, okay.
So if anybody wants to read this, I would imagine it's available at the selectman's office. I'm not sure if a PDF copy will be made available, but it looks pretty interesting.
Wonderful bedtime reading.
Well, it can be boring, but I have a brochure here from the Mass Audubon Society. Losing ground, nature's value, and changing climate. So again, they sent us two. If anybody wants to read through it at their leisure, I would imagine it's available at their webpage too. So that's. There's two copies here, so.
I don't know if they're as persistent as the National Audubon. Once you get on their mailing list, you cannot get off the list.
You can't? How's that possible?
I joined 1 year, and I get stuff from them every week. Boom, 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 boom. It's been going on for
Look at all the
5 years.
trees they're killing.
So I say,
That's
look
right.
on the computer, it's PDF.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, they send all these mailings
oh,
forever. Calendars, notepads, stickers, advertising.
Couple other items here, but I think we've already been through these items. That's the Mass Eversource, 21120, we read that in.
Mm-hmm.
Got the phase one study for the inspection, which I think is on the agenda. So we can go over that later.
But that's okay.
Phase one study. Financials, hearings, correspondence. Got a letter here from Stephen LaPlante, Realtor. I think we'll need to talk about this. This is not under correspondence, but it's regarding a perk test on Amherst Street. We can go over that under new business. Bill, did you take care of that estimate, that Stockman, for the compensatory storage review for 202?
Yeah, she's
on?
working, she's working
Okay.
with Bob Notario directly, and they're trying to schedule a site
I've
visit.
got two contracts here not signed. Do we need to sign these in meeting? He wants to sign them in meeting?
Yeah,
He wants to do it now?
that's fine.
So this, what time is it?
you have 2 minutes.
Do you want to talk about this under, all right, let me just go this real quick. I have a contract here dated February 10th, 2020, regarding the Mass DOT traffic compensatory storage plan on Route 202 in Granby, Mass. Peer review proposal. The field scope of work, field work, site visit regarding compensatory storage, Mass DOT staff, estimated half a field day. Material review, site plan review of the plans dated February 6th, 2020, under the Wetlands Protection Act, 310 CMR 10. Reporting, review findings, include findings report, recommendations, materials review, and site visit. Meetings. This scope excludes attendance at public hearings. Total cost estimate, 12 hours, would be $1,200. Hourly rate for wetland scientist, $100. Field technician, $55 an hour. And this is for Stockman Associates, and we're looking for an authorization to proceed for that.
She's working on it.
She's working on it now.
Yeah, just sign it in, and I'll just send her an email to the effect of.
Do I make a motion to sign?
A second. Which part of the 202 is this?
Down near Forge Pond.
Oh,
It's where the cafe used to be.
yeah, I know.
Anybody else want to sign it?
I don't, do we all need to, or?
It's one person.
Yeah,
You get it.
it's a meeting.
7:30 now.
Yep.
Hold on, let me get this. Put that in the Kathy folder, just let her know it's there. 7:30. Want me? 7:30, public hearings, item number 1, continue notice of intent filed by Bedrock Financial LLC for proposed construction of a single-family home and associated work, portions of which fall within the 100-foot BBW buffer zone in regards to property located on Bachelor Street, known as map 13-B-17.1 in the town of Granby. You guys sign it, Heather, please?
Hey, Heather, how are you?
I don't remember what this one is every time. Is it meant to be some or this?
Did you guys get the?
I did not. Yeah, this we read in this to 211, this is the old one. This was all received 2011.
So I have 2 paper copies of the revised plans, and just a letter describing, that we have revised plans.
Yep.
There was a stormwater report also, as part of that. Did you guys need a paper copy of the stormwater report?
How did it come in, by PDF? I'm okay with that. If the other commissioners are okay with that,
You guys should have this electronically now.
But I can't remember if it is in there.
so I think at the last meeting, we talked about,
Well, we had a laundry list of items for Heather to address, and I trust you addressed these, Heather.
Yes,
So why don't we just go over them item by item? Might be the easiest way to do it.
go ahead, do you have those printed out? Do we have those items that we asked for?
They were in the minutes.
Should be on your computer, Ed.
No, I don't have a computer.
We get your little thing, don't you, your device, your cell phone? You got your cell phone.
Oh, are you talking about what you just emailed?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're talking about what we had asked for last meeting.
Well,
My-
Amanda took.
I just pulled it up.
Yeah,
Okay, there it is.
thank you.
Okay, okay.
So, questions?
I wanted the I know I wanted the driveway laid out. I went
Right,
up
so
there
driveway elevations.
yesterday,
Yeah.
picked up a couple ticks,
Ooh,
and they're out. So,
already yuck.
they were staked out, with blue ribbon on top.
So,
Do you know who staked that out? Was that
Al Joyce did.
Al Joyce? Okay.
I staked them out.
You
I
staked-
scaled off the, all of the flagging, the wetland flagging, I scaled off the wetland flagging to the center of the drive.
Were they 100-foot stations, Al, or 50-foot stations?
They were more like 50 feet.
Okay.
They're a little further than that.
Some of them were closer, I tried to do them at line of vision, left side of vision.
Yeah, they weren't labeled station number or anything
No.
like that. There was no contours. The one that I was more concerned with was at the culvert. And I think that was laid out, but I wasn't 100% sure because there's really no identifiers. It seemed pretty far away from the wetland flags, and then there was some rilling that was coming across from one wetland to the down gradient, and it was, I don't know if that was from a backhoe or if that's just water flowing, and that's where the stake was. I'm imagining that's where the culverts are going. So that was one of my concerns, was to visually see it in the field, at least at the crossing where it's the narrowest. I guess it was done. I mean, I don't know, if the client is a engineer or surveyor, or you're just,
I've done this for a long time.
okay.
I can scale off the plan.
Well, I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying it just visually didn't look where it should have been. There's a big separation between the wetland flags, is what I'm saying. So, the other thing we asked for, I believe I asked for, was the profile. A profile, especially at the crossing, because I thought we had some potential fill that would really go into the wetlands. I don't see the profile on the plan, is what I'm saying. I don't know if he gave you a separate sheet.
Oh, I don't think I printed out the second sheet.
Do you have that electronically?
Yeah.
Okay. Bill, you said you sent that to everybody?
I just sent it to, John Kopinski did stream stats, and it looks like he
Sure.
did HydroCAD
Okay,
as well.
if you have it in front of you, then how does it look?
Well, I'm having trouble looking at it.
Okay.
Easier said than done.
It's okay, if we have it electronically.
I have it electronically, that's all.
That's okay. It did go through, Bill sent it to all of us, so,
There's
here we go.
a cross-section at the stream crossing, or at the driveway crossing.
Sure,
There
okay.
are other cross-sections at a rate where it would be raised or recessed. And there is a profile of the driveway as well. So we're adding two 12-inch pipes instead of the 8-inch pipes, just because the 12-inch pipes have, can be fitted with flared ends,
Good.
whereas the 8-inch couldn't be fitted with flared ends.
Do you see it?
And
Yeah.
it has been designed to the 100-year storm event.
Okay.
Okay, so your 100-year flood is 34 cubic feet per second, is that right? That's what Stream Stats is telling me. So you think two 12-inch pipes, Ed, can take 34 CFS?
I'm not gonna say whether it can or can't, it's not our design.
So where are you grabbing stream stats from?
Oh, from your report, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you show at the point of analysis, you've got 100-year peak flood, 34.1 CFS.
Yeah, I mean.
So if that's the case, those two pipes should be able to handle that.
Yeah,
It's just, I don't know. Again, I've just looked at this for the first time.
yeah, if you look at the last page of that PDF,
Yeah,
it's probably, I guess, see what we can read.
okay.
That's the 100-year storm event, and it shows you the elevation, it shows you the flow.
Okay.
Okay, so, did you get that, Amanda?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, we're just
assuming
looking-
you're John Kopinski? Okay,
You don't remember me yet?
I barely do, but from Ludlow.
Yes.
So, Mr. Kopinski and Bill just talked about the 100-year flood and that it should pass those pipes okay. My only concern with this whole thing was that the limit of work be contained within that area. It's depicted on the plan as being so. The cover on the pipe, Bill, do you think that's adequate?
Well, no, I'm looking at this for the first time.
Sure.
I'm just concerned, and I'm sure there's a good answer for this. The 100-year flood is 9.24 CFS. Actually, it's 7.1 for the outfall, because you got some discard on the HydroCAD, and then on the stream stats, it's 34. So why is there a discrepancy?
Yeah, so the stream stats is really more for a stream itself, but I've done in work I've done for Mass DOT, whatever. I actually use stream stats to get the area as opposed to going through.
So there's probably plenty of flow that bypasses that pipe that's not picked up.
I wondered if there was another outlet.
Yeah,
somewhere, but,
Again, that's just, at first glance, that's the question I would have.
So really, the only, my concern with this whole project was just that one narrow crossing. If the limit of work can be contained within what's shown on the plan, I don't see this as it being an issue at that point. We may want to add in the order of conditions that it be staked out by a surveyor or an engineer, the limits of work, and, you know, that way.
Look, John, you're working for these folks, right, still?
I've worked.
Yeah, can you do the stakeout yourself?
I can do a stakeout, sure.
Yeah, that'll be the limit of work. Are we saying on the wetland boundaries, you know, how far off it would be, or do we know how far off the limit of work is depicted on the plan? There's no dimensions that I saw specifically.
It's like right on it, it's like 1 foot off.
1 foot off, okay. So if we could say 1 foot off the wetland boundary is the limit of work. But were there any other questions that we had besides, those are my two main questions that I had, was just the detail on that crossing, just to make sure it'll fit in that area without filling towards the wetlands, and the staking of the center line of the road at the crossing. Anything outside is pretty far away. Anything further up is pretty safe to say it wouldn't have an impact on the resource area. But that was my only concern. Anyone else have what other?
There were a couple things
Sure.
about what type of markers were going to be used.
We were
Some
talking
discussion
about
about that, which might be in the order of
Wetlands
conditions.
protection. Yeah, the
Special
in
conditions.
perpetuity, the wetland markers.
Yeah,
Right. Limit of work that forever be
yeah, as well as the
memorialized
maintenance
with
of the
monuments.
culverts under the
Right. And
road. But is that all going to be special condition stuff, or is that,
I believe so.
okay.
That's all special conditions. As far as the maintenance of the culverts, how do we foresee that happening? Is it just clearing by hand, obviously, when needed?
Yep, and that's on the plans as well.
Okay.
Is it this one, under notes?
Uh,
No,
there's-
it's on that other.
That's fine.
one. I can't believe I
That's
didn't print that out.
fine. We have a PDF copy of that, so
I think it's note number 5.
on the.
I got it, it's right here.
You got it?
No, they have it, yeah.
Number 8, owner shall inspect and clean the 2 12-inch culverts within 24 hours of any storm exceeding half an inch of rain in a 24-hour period.
Sure.
That was really tied to the stormwater pollution prevention, from the Mass stormwater rating.
Good housekeeping, that's all. So, are there any other questions that we had that we were requesting either to come back with?
I think those are all the things we had asked about.
I wasn't here, so.
Okay.
No, I see what John did. It's 0.0974 square miles, which is about 62 acres, and that's what you showed, John, in your HydroCAD for input, 62 acres, but you had a runoff number of 36, which absorbs a lot of that water.
Exactly.
So I can see where that 34 drifted way down. So that's reasonable then.
Yeah.
So you're using 2 12-inch pipes, is that what you're going with?
Yeah,
With flares?
I started with the 3/8, and then when I looked into the ADS, they don't make a flared end for an 8-inch, so we went up to 2 12s.
Good, okay.
The 12-inch cover, Ed, is ADS recommendation.
Oh yeah, you only need 12-inch cover for each 20 loading with that, so those are pretty stout, so those are
Yeah.
work fine.
Any scouring velocities at
I do have a stone scour pad on the outlet.
on the outlet side? Does that infringe into the wetland or no?
No.
Okay. Okay, so as long as we don't infringe, I think if we monument that section pretty well, and I'm pretty good with that at that point.
And what did you say about monuments?
We had some discussion about what were going to be
Types.
Between
proposed.
lally columns, concrete bounds,
Oh, yeah, we had a big.
Or if the property owner
there's no
has
set standard
reference already.
that I'm aware of in the state, so
Yeah,
we need to, something that's visible, that these wetland boundaries are protected and that the future owner knows where they are. So,
You saw that, right, the profile?
yeah, looks good, it's fine. Yeah, again, I was just really concerned with that one area. Once you get past it, it's really outside our, well, it's in the buffer zone for the most part, so. Do we want to figure out monuments now, or, I mean, the set standard is always concrete bounds,
yeah,
but nobody sees them after they get all overgrown.
yeah.
Leave them up a foot, they're still gonna get overgrown. Then the other option was to do signs, not too obnoxious, but maybe small signs on cedar posts or something. But do you wanna, we could put that in the special conditions?
Yeah.
Subject to approval by the conservation,
Sure, that,
and let them come back with what they wanna install for the monuments?
yeah.
Let
I
them,
think that would be easiest, because then they have flexibility to
Yeah.
kind of decide.
if they wanna come back with, posts, metal posts with signs on them, you know.
Or the bluebird boxes.
Bluebird,
which
yeah,
Might
yeah,
be more fun,
you know,
yeah.
something,
I don't know what they want.
so we can talk about that in special conditions.
Yeah.
Do you want, also, are there any other input from the commissioners? General public? So, anything else you wanna add, Heather? Bill?
I think we're settled.
So we're gonna close the public hearing?
I move to close the hearing.
Second? Sorry.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so. When do we want to write these? Obviously,
Probably not tonight.
so,
What's the main elements that we want to write? That's the question.
yeah, so we have to make a motion to approve. We have to have,
Well, I think we ought to determine what the conditions are
Conditions.
first.
okay. So, my biggest concern was just the layout and monumentation, the limit of work within that, this close proximity. As we get further out, we can be a little less, little lax, or not, I want to say a little
Less
lax.
stringent.
Less stringent, that's, the activities out, it's in the buffer zone, but it's pretty far away. So, these squares on the plan, I'm guessing are representing the monuments that you guys want to install. Those are the monuments, so. Some towns want them every 50 feet, so, but we can talk about that too. I don't think that's a problem. So, what special conditions do we want to talk about? Monumentation, stakeout, or obviously installation of silt fence, that's a standard for erosion control. The only special condition I see is really monuments and staking out in the field.
And we can just note again, the owner is responsible for maintaining the culvert.
Correct.
Per the
That's true.
plan.
That's good. That's a good point too. What about a deed restriction, that the new owner is notified that there's a deed restriction subject to conservation restrictions, if you will, or wetlands, subject to Wetlands Protection Act, as shown. We're gonna need, are we gonna need a plan recorded at the registry showing the monuments?
Yeah.
Okay, just bringing that up. So we need a plan recorded at the registry showing the monuments once they're installed.
So like an as-built,
Pretty much, yeah. And at that point, I don't know if John's stamp would suffice or if you need a LS. I don't know. You're not dealing with property lines, but you're dealing with wetland boundaries.
does that have to be like a full-size sheet, or can that be, Is it legal notice could be attached to
A
the
deed.
order, can be attached to the order of conditions as just like a separate page?
I've never seen it done that way. Have you? Anybody?
That's how Ludlow does it.
They'll attach a drawing to the deed
Mhm.
or the order of conditions. It's
Right.
gonna be pretty hard to read, that's the problem.
It'll be very
You know,
small.
so any future owner is not gonna be able to read it, and then we don't have this in our records.
So then a full-size sheet
Yeah.
and.
Well, I think a full-size sheet would be adequate when you do the sign-off on a certificate of compliance. I think at that point we would want it at least. I don't think we need it for the order of conditions.
Because the registry will scan the big print or their
Yeah,
photograph.
well, yeah,
the big
sure.
print.
But I think under the order of conditions, we don't need a full drawing. We know, we have this depicting the monuments, but this is not recordable at the registry.
So then it would have to be, I think when they, when you, record plans, don't they have to be Mylars?
Yes. Right, Mylars,
They're still abiding by that requirement?
oh yeah,
Really?
3.5-inch
Really?
recording block. Endorsement, it's probably gonna be no new boundary lines, chapter 380 endorsement. You don't need a planning board endorsement. You don't need our endorsement. You know, you need somebody to record the plan though.
That's why you need a surveyor to do it, typically.
They'll accept an engineer's stamp on certain types of projects.
Mhm.
I don't know if they would accept this.
Mhm.
You know, I've seen a PE stamp certain drawings they will accept because it's not dealing with property lines,
Mhm.
but this is a wetland boundary.
Mhm.
It's up to the discretion, I think, of the registrar.
Mhm.
So, but that's when you come back for your certificate of compliance, I think, and the certificate of compliance has to come in within, what, 3 years?
Yep.
We're gonna ask for 3 years,
Yeah.
so this project needs to, so once the order of conditions, what's the sequencing as far as the owner? Is the owner gonna build the road as far as you know, or is the owner going to sell the property? Is the owner selling the property, or is he gonna?
Al, you're gonna sell this property.
We haven't made any decisions on that. We
But
haven't.
there's a reasonable probability.
Yes, there is a certainly
Okay,
reasonable
okay, so that's why we gotta be super careful. 'Cause
So-
who's gonna be dealing with the new people?
Right, and a lot of times, if, after 3 years, the order of conditions are gonna expire. If there's no action taken within 3 years, I think those orders expire.
That's correct.
And we can't issue a certificate at that point.
We could extend the order.
You could extend it for 1
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Some of this really should be either implemented right away and constructed, or, you know, so he has a window of, what, 3 years, we'll say? So, to build this, so whether it gets sold, if it gets sold 2 years and 10 months and it's not built, I don't expect someone.
That's why the monumentation is so critical,
Well, you
because it's
can,
gonna
you
get
can install the
overrun.
monuments at any time you want.
Yeah, but I mean,
You
if
can do
you,
it now.
if you wait 3 years to put the monuments
never
in,
do
you'll
it.
never know where the hell they
Never do
go.
it. So that's just, if the owner doesn't build it within 3 years or sell it and it gets completed, you know, the order of conditions is meaningless at that point. We're just,
You can apply for a certificate of compliance though after the order of condition expires.
if the project isn't built,
No, but
right,
if you're applying for a certificate of compliance, it's already done.
it's assumed it's built.
You're right.
Correct, right, that's, if it's not built, there's no reason to come for a certificate of compliance. So,
I know we've run into that problem where it hasn't been built and there's an order of conditions sitting on a piece of
it's
property.
expired. It's expired
That's
then
correct.
if it's got
That's
past.
correct.
If they started the project and finished half of it, it's, in my opinion, it expires. Because it's an incomplete project.
One way or another, we're not gonna let this expire.
I'm just, yeah, I'm just,
We've been here a long time now.
I understand, so,
But that you could keep extending
You can
it
extend
pretty
it.
much.
I don't know
Like
if you
over and
can,
over again.
I don't know if you can indefinitely extend it.
Okay.
That's subject to, that's a DEP policy thing.
Extending?
Yeah, I know you can extend it one period, whether you can extend it in perpetuity
I don't
becomes
think
a
you
I was
question.
talking to someone at Tenenbaum, they said that you can.
Yeah.
Because
I find that-
there's a project in
As
Springfield
long
for
as
the
you keep
town.
requesting it
Yeah.
before it expires,
Yeah.
it's really up to the commission. But the
It's our,
commission can-
it's at our
Discretion.
discretion.
Yeah.
And the
Because
problem is
if
keep
it
extending,
ever got close to
extending.
expiring, I would wanna check those wetland flags.
Right, exactly. So, anyway, so that's our special, you wanna write these down, I guess, our special
I've been
conditions?
kind of noting them
You want,
as I go.
anything else to add? So we're gonna make a motion to approve with conditions? This wants to make a motion on the, I guess seeing how you've read them, why don't you make the motion
Oh.
with the conditions?
Okay. Like, I want to make sure that I have them all correct.
That's fine, if
So
not,
like-
we'll modify it.
Okay, so monuments, staking out,
Is that-
erosion controls.
I make a motion to.
Okay, yes, I make a motion to approve this project with the special conditions
Thank you.
that the monuments be put in place per the plan specs, stakeout of ENS controls before work, and 72-hour notice to the commission to inspect
Mhm.
beforehand. Okay. And a notice on the deed of a restriction subject to the Wetland Protection Act that will be on the property in perpetuity, and an as-built of the monuments. Was there anything else?
What's the detail of the monuments again?
At our monuments to be determined.
Yeah.
Monuments to be determined, the applicant can come back with what they would like to set, and then we could approve or modify, or something to that
Do you
effect.
have any suggestions or things that you would like to do?
What we've done before is 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC filled with cement, sticking out of the ground, 16 inches sticking into the ground. So it'd be a total of 48 inches long and sticking into the ground, the remainder that's not sticking out.
Sure. Well, that may work, and if you want to bring to the commission the detail of that
Okay.
in a photograph maybe, and then we can decide. If you have that, if you've done it in the past, take a couple snapshots, bring it in, describe it, put it on
Okay.
paper. It doesn't have to be too elaborate, just
Okay.
describe what you want to do.
Only potential issue is perk test marking for test pits is exactly the same as that, so you don't want to get those confused.
No. Well, he said 16 inch, and I would imagine you're going to install a rebar in the middle.
Yeah, as long as they're concrete filled, I think that would
Yeah, once you fill it with
distinguish
concrete
yeah,
and you put a rebar in
yeah.
it,
Then they
just
won't
to,
realize it's a test pit location. Okay,
exactly. So we can talk about that. We have time, so.
that's fair enough.
So we can, I guess we can put something in there that says,
We also
At
talked
the
about that, the
discretion,
signage, some type of sign that might be a little less obnoxious, if you will, I don't know. More
Well,
sign
somebody
looks-
sent, did you send around something, Amanda? Some nice little Audubon signs or something?
Mark did.
Or did you send
Mark
those?
Stinson
in?
sent
Mark
it.
sent those?
So
Those
that's
are
a
really nice.
possibility as a sign, that might be even quicker, you know, a sign on a metal post that's driven in the ground.
Yeah.
That might be quicker,
Yeah.
so, but anyways.
Again, they're subject to
So we-
location.
if
Talk
they
about
stuck a
it.
piece of rebar coming out of that cement post.
Yeah, that's what
you
we
can
just
always-
said. Rebar it, and
Okay, so I'm making a motion
Okay.
to approve this, subject to the special conditions, including monument, which will be discussed at a later date and verified, confirmed by us, standard ENS control procedures, limit of work, and
deed restriction, and a plan to be recorded showing the monument's location. They had talked to us about that earlier, DEP, about putting stuff on record. Forget what project it was, because if you don't put it on notice, then somebody takes another bite of the apple. That's what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
So I think that's what DEP's policy, they're gonna want plans not recorded. So that you.
I'll second.
Second, discussion? In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So it passes, so we'll get this drafted for our next meeting,
Is anybody doing notes?
No.
Which is- April 14th. So, do you guys want paper copies of those plans that were emailed, just to make sure? You
Is
sure?
this yours too?
Well, we should have it in our file.
Yeah, I think we need
I
to.
don't want a personal copy, but
When
it
you
should
get
be
a
in the
chance, you know, the PDF copy was great, paper
Paper
copies
copy.
of the last two things. The
I
stormwater
know,
report,
that's-
do we need,
file. Well, it'd be good to have, we should have a hard copy of that.
how many pages is it?
It's like
I have one.
50 pages, yeah.
53.
Yeah, give that
If you
to
want,
Heather. Yeah,
sure,
give
we'll
that
put
to-
this,
that'd
we'll
be
mark it
good. Thank you.
received,
Wonderful, thank you.
and, the other paper copies would be great.
Wonderful.
And this is,
That was another paper copy,
Yep,
just a letter.
mark it today's date, just to make sure. See.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Good luck, thank you. Good to see you, John.
Take care, John.
Yeah, past is 7:45.
Hold on. It happens.
Is my PO here?
No.
We got an email from the selectmen about this one.
I'm glad to see we're all staying 3 feet away from one another. Regarding my comments earlier, Herb Abelson just sent me a response. He says, add cough to that list.
Static.
You have an elastic in.
No, we'll figure this out. 7:45, notice of intent filed by PO Development LLC for proposed construction of a residential subdivision associated with stormwater management structures. The roadway will require a wetland fill and open channel crossing with regards to property located on Carver Street, known as map 16B, 15.4, and 16 in the town of Granby. Anybody here from Mr. PO?
Amanda, that's regarding that property. isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, we do
they
have
sent
a-
this to the
Okay.
selectmen.
Do you?
Yes, Kathy said the selectmen got some sort of note. in
Yeah, this is regards to the conservation restriction. I don't know if we need to talk about that, or do you want to just put this off because we've got other things ahead of us?
Yeah, let's just bypass.
So I'm gonna table this to our next meeting. April 14th, same time. We can talk about this conservation restriction afterwards, I guess, so. So, we've got a request for certificate of compliance located at 101 Kendall Street. I'm gonna recuse myself from this because Mr. Powers, or the attorney representing Mr. Clark, I do a lot of work for the attorney. I have no financial connection with Mr. Clark, other than his attorney, so I don't want to, we've got enough members here to do a quorum, so I'm gonna recuse myself and let Patty?
I guess, whatever.
Okay. Do you want the, well, here it is.
All right, what do we got? Do you have it?
Yeah, there's a
Maybe
house
like
and
the plans.
a house and a barn. Do you want to come up?
Sure, I got it. Ooh, someone's got a nice copier.
And I did do a site visit last, was it Monday or Tuesday? Hopefully even out. Monday, last Monday, yes.
Okay, so, 165 the street. What? Okay, I'm kind of like looking at this going, how does this? Okay, so this here and then this here. Goes that way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like trying to figure out like,
Yep, this comes from Kendall Street into the house.
okay,
The area that we used for reclamation was over here.
okay.
Amanda took pictures of it. Again, it was 23 years ago. I guess.
There's a replication area out there.
Yes. I have pictures of. And again, this is really not great visual to see. But I do have pictures on my computer.
So
My
this
phone
is
does
a,
that thing where it does live, so there's like videos in between.
so this is a swamp of some sort.
Yeah, so this is the application area, and it is where it is on the map.
So did you find that you had an old COC you needed? Is that what the situation?
Yes, selling the house,
Oh.
and then he just found out that there was an old COC. So this actually corresponds with those photos that I was just taking.
That was standing water?
Yes.
Okay.
And 23 years ago, we didn't have the rules about where your fence line was, so the
Yeah,
cows-
it's in the
it was
cow
a good place to water
area.
the cows as well, so.
Okay.
These are kind of public pictures that aren't very great.
So where was the
It got
wetland that
darker
was
as I
filled
went.
in?
So it's not so much that it was filled in, it was the access road that was through a disturbed wetland and crossing area.
Okay.
So this stretch here.
Oh, okay.
And from the permit documents, it appears that it was an old road, like an old farm road, so it was already a disturbed area. And so it was, like, part of the analysis was. to
Oh, so this
determine
isn't the
the
property
least
we looked at
determined.
with you before, like a couple weeks ago?
No,
No, this is a
that's
different-
Bachelor Street.
Okay, all right. I'm like going, all right. I know there was two houses and stuff and a barn.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a different one.
Yeah. And then we also have the special conditions, because one of them was to detailed plans of the replication area, including a cross-section plan, and details and sequence of construction.
See attached, oh, okay, here?
Yeah. And in the plans, which doesn't have a section picture, but the location on there does not correspond to the actual on-site conditions now. So we have to kind of discuss that.
The deal with where it was going was going to do more damage to wetland than putting it on, digging it out at a drier spot to make the replication area.
So you moved where the replication area is, not
That's-
the road.
Not the road.
Yes, exactly.
So is condition 13 there, what, did you notice the road surface?
So it's over here instead of being over here.
24.
So it's not anywhere near.
Where's the 24?
No, and so
Culvert,
facts.
There's an
That's all
18-inch
I'm-
culvert and a 24-inch
Yeah.
culvert on the
Okay.
other side.
Facts.
okay.
So I
And there
have,
also wasn't the section cut of the details. So, yeah, facts.
this is a
Okay, so
Stinson
this is the
question.
24. I gotta get moved. Wetlands.
So this is 23 years ago?
Okay, so this is the 18's here,
Yes,
and the 24's over here.
yes.
Okay.
Originally in that old farm road, there was no culvert there,
Okay,
but there was a wooden bridge here.
okay.
Um,
And then it basically said here that you would just cover it over top during the,
I don't know if you have a copy.
And it's paved at this point.
yeah, because it says it's supposed to be, either with concrete or a road asphalt. Sounds good, okay.
The other thing that at that point, the town had asked us to do, and this was strictly on them, was to put the swale in on the edge of the driveway.
Okay,
So, because there's a culvert here by the road,
okay,
instead of just having it run freely like it was.
okay.
And that was more than done.
Okay. Okay. So what was the concern, because I didn't see the property?
It wasn't really a concern, it was just making sure, because we're really just checking off.
The boxes?
Yes, and so because of some slight variations to the plans, I just wanted to discuss,
Okay.
you know,
Because I just read the
Standard.
special conditions and,
procedure of things.
okay. So despite the fact of time lapse and whatnot, and,
Yes.
okay, it appears everything had been met, just, we're looking at just time since then.
And the area was put in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
But do we know if the area is even close to what was supposed to be replicated?
But now it's so long
Ago,
ago, what,
yeah.
what are we gonna do?
I mean, it is, down here, which is nice. Is it possible to put that as a protected area that cannot be used anymore? Would that be like a
I don't know.
fair alternative?
Yeah.
To Just, we're so close and just be like,
Does-
okay,
So
so it's a
does that
wetlands,
wetland
means-
connect to that bigger one? Can you tell?
I-
There's probably a hydraulic conduction
I mean, there might be,
underground.
but this
You-
is the area where he recreated, so that,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, hopefully it's connected somehow, even if it's underground.
Mm. See, I know you're allowed to have cattle in a wetland.
Right, so I'm saying, what is the,
Not any longer, it's 100 feet from.
It is?
Yeah,
Oh,
now you
wow.
have to
oh, is
keep
that
an
for,
eye.
is that for
23
eutrophication?
years ago, there was no,
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
nowadays, you can't, if they're already using it, they're grandfathered in. You know, the
Okay.
cows can keep doing what they're doing. But you can't create a new spot for them to go into wetlands. And so because this is a location.
Eutrophication.
Yeah.
But again, it's been 20-something years, so.
So does this wetland go out?
We
this
didn't go
way?
too much farther.
Is this the edge
No.
where you were walking or this side?
We
No.
walked over on this side and then kind of went back this way.
it's pretty well right where it is.
See.
That section.
Right, but it's there, and if anyone ever tries to do anything, they're gonna have to get it, protecting it. What can you do with that area? What would someone hypothetically want to do?
Would it be filled in for grass?
No, and that actually, it seasonally dries up to that fence line, and the grass grows there anyway. It may not look it right now, but it does.
That means it might not have been dug deep enough, or it's
I
been,
mean, it's got
Who
plenty of
knows?
water, it's just,
yeah.
if it doesn't have the chance for everything to regenerate and grow back,
Right.
then it's just gonna stay kind of a mud pit. So that's what I was saying, if you just make it, you know, no
So-
more cattle in the wetland, it'll grow and,
But
Yeah.
if there's currently not any there, and there's a rule already, we don't need to do that. If you already can't put them near, was it 100 feet you said they couldn't anyway?
That's the new rule.
The new rule.
There was no
Back in the
rule.
day.
There was no, you
Right.
could put them right up to the brook so that they could drink.
So, but you're gonna, oh, okay, sorry, my brain's tired, and it's been a long day. So you're basically signing off because you're gonna be selling the land?
Yes, it's under contract.
So if it's under contract and they sell it, and it's a new owner, then there is no grandfathering, so it wouldn't matter. They'd have to follow that rule regardless.
but what if they don't know, because it's already cattle space? I mean, I
And
don't
they-
know your client's coming in.
They are keeping cattle there.
But then they would know, am I correct? If they already,
I'm just wondering if it should be flagged and a few monuments need to be put out.
Yeah, I just think that like this is a replication area that was supposed to be, so shouldn't we protect it in the future?
what are the odds of them building something in there?
It's not building it, it's being degraded by having cattle and stuff in it. That degrades the function of the system.
That he replicated in the wrong area?
I mean, a replication
So
in the
you
wrong
want
area is
mine
better
that
than
you
no
want-
replication.
Yeah.
For some, I don't know, I'm being a pragmatist. Sorry, I'm being a pragmatist, and how many things do I want a monument, and how far do I want to stretch something out is my thought process, sorry.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if there should be at least a fence row or something to keep animals out of there.
I wish Bill was in this
But then you're doing a
conversation.
fence row, and then you're also destroying the property, you're destroying the area, disturbing it already to put a fence row in.
Not if you're just at the wetland line.
And then what species would you like to dictate?
No, I'm saying like a fence row fence.
But then you have to maintenance it. And you still have activity there for a fence row. So you're putting a stipulation on a property that's already on contract. So you could possibly, no offense to the law. I'm not saying-
There's no way we can put
But
like
but
anything in there. Well,
But no,
because the
no
order
offense, the law is
conditions-
already on contract for this. It's something that needs to be done so they can sell a property. And I understand that the need and the expedience or the due diligence to, how do I word this? The due diligence to uphold the law of the state of Massachusetts, but also the right for someone to sell their property. And he's willingly coming up here asking for an order of conditions and following through with the good intent of the law. And he's not dropping his new owner with this particular mess, which you could do. So
Well, you
he's,
can't sell it until he has this fixed. You can't sell it if you have.
how many things have we seen that suddenly sold that pop up? You'd be surprised what you can hide when you want to. I'm sorry, for the number of things I've seen across our plate that someone said they had no idea until they wanted to do something. He's coming forward. My theory is, in good faith, he may have replicated the wrong thing, but it's there. And I'm sure in these conversations, with the amount of hullabaloo with trying to purchase this thing off, we can trust someone to say that, hey, this is what was done, and to leave it be. We can't control it once it's been purchased anyway. We can put any monument we want. We don't know who this person is. We're gonna be meeting. They could just ignore it. Do you see him saying, like, we're not talking to the new owner, we're talking to someone who wants to sell their property. And we can't control that changeover. I'm just saying, jumping through hoops for this person, for someone else who will be purchasing it, and could literally just ignore everything we just made him do.
Madam Chairman,
Yes,
Kevin Brooks,
I
246
recognize Mr. Brooks.
You know, after the property is transferred, if there's, you drive by, you go in there, oh, what's this? Then you've got the world open to you as to what you think requires you more to do. If it becomes necessary.
I'm just saying, this is the person who's attempting to sell a property, and the new person, we can make them jump through hoops, and they can say, I don't care.
I just didn't see this as jumping through hoops. I saw this as like a quick way to wrap it up. And
Well, I mean, a quick way to wrap it off, in my opinion, is just to sign off. That's just my point of statement. I mean,
I don't know, also, do we know what the special order conditions are?
It's written in that,
that's all the special.
No, I don't know.
yes, it
says
is.
at the top.
Okay,
But it also says that the.
see attached sheet of special conditions.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
in
that's
here,
what you were just looking at. Flip it over.
right here.
That
You
is
think that's it?
Look at the top. It says special conditions.
Okay.
Top of the page.
It's just, I printed
Yeah.
it out, so it's
Oh.
not front and back. It
Oh,
was a separate
okay.
sheet.
Oh, all right, okay, all right, okay. Because I know my husband's was pretty thorough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 100-foot buffer zone.
When's your sale?
Last Friday.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pull through for another month, and I think,
I wasn't trying to do that. I was
but I'm
trying
just
to.
saying that what we then would have to do is then we'd have to visit to make sure it's done. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the timing and the frame of something, and I'm just considering.
Do we
the
have
time-
any ability to
practicality.
write anything in on the COC?
What do you mean?
The COC, when we do a certificate, we
Because you
don't
only
have
have to sign
anything.
off on this original plan. We can't put an amendment on that.
I wish I called Mark Stinson before this meeting. Yeah, we only got a couple check boxes.
So what are our options on checks?
It's either a complete certification saying that everything was completed satisfactorily, partial, invalid, or ongoing.
Maybe almost that.
Ongoing.
But you have to be careful what you check. You have to remember we're doing a sale. It's not like he is you're checking and you're leaving this open for this person who filed this application. And this will no longer be the owner of the
It's,
property.
no, it's on the property.
It's attached to the deed in perpetuity.
Yeah.
If it's a condition that's already written into there.
Yes, yeah, it
But that
goes with
would
the
have to
property.
be if there was already something in there that's ongoing, and I don't know if there was.
And there isn't. And not in the way this is written. Like, there's nothing about, like, in what the original conditions were.
Well, it was such as maintenance or monitoring, so.
Yeah, but I don't think that was included.
It's not
back in the
included,
day.
that's the problem. It has to be included here. There is no further subdivision.
Well, it
Concrete.
says somewhere in most, until vegetation has taken to the area and growth has been established.
But there is growth.
It's not,
You
It's-
can't
it
really
looks
see from the photos.
degraded
It's,
based on what she said.
I mean, we have to follow the law, that's our obligation.
I agree, but what I'm saying is that you're looking at a photo and deciding if it's degraded and when was it taken.
I went out and took photos.
But when?
Last Monday.
Right, it's the wrong season.
Yes, but there's.
You cannot make it's the
So then
wrong-
we could push it off?
I know.
Another 2-3 months then.
So what would you like to put on this, the burden on this person? Sorry, I'm gonna call it like I see it. I don't wanna be the reason why someone loses a sale.
The commission does have the option of going back in there after it's transferred and they say, come talk to us. We'd like to get the scope of your operation.
You
What are you
can,
gonna do here, what are you gonna do there?
so,
I mean, you can
I'm just-
file something.
right, we can, we can move forward with the new person. I just don't wanna hold I understand that it's attached to the deed, and I understand all those things, but you're attaching something with someone we have no idea who we're dealing with. And I like to be, how do I say it? Potential resident friendly, as well as current resident friendly. Chair recognizes the gentleman in the corner. I don't know your name, sir.
Potential resident friendly.
Okay. Oh, you're the person that,
For the potential resident friendly.
Welcome to the party.
well, so then he's already aware, so then we're good. Raising cattle,
I got a 20-year-old son who's raising cattle.
keep him away from the water.
So from what?
There you go, solves the problem. He's aware.
So Bill,
Well, that
can
was
you put
easy.
any input into this?
Well, brief me on what you found. Brief me on your findings.
God, Bill. No, he doesn't, no, he walked out to have a conversation.
Are you all in agreement as to what we're gonna do?
No,
No.
we're not in agreement at all.
I want to sign it and let it be the next owner's issue. They want to memorialize the area in some way or create some sort of,
Well, no, you can't turn it, there's a thing in law called estoppel, which means once Bill transfers it to the new owner is not liable for anything going forward. So that, you can't
If the
really.
new owner's right here,
You can't do that,
so.
What does that mean?
yeah.
you can't.
Estoppel, again, it means that it would be duly unfair for something done by a previous party to transfer to a new owner, because it would be not under his or her control.
I don't know what you're implying though.
It's
Like,
a
what are we putting
Because
on
you
the
can
other
have
person?
forever conditions on a property.
Yeah, like
You
you
can
cannot
do,
do things in a
no,
wetland.
you can do
That's-
perpetual conditions on the Form 8B, you can do that.
Because all we're saying is,
Are you guys in favor of approving this?
with the stipulation that this area is no longer used to hold cattle. The
Okay.
replication area that is a wetland.
Okay, and Bill, you'd move your fence back
Yes.
off of that? Where's the fence currently?
Behind that,
Right.
kind of in this
No.
area?
Just ahead of that.
Okay.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, right there?
Yep.
Oh,
Kev, you and Jeff were involved with this, right? So you guys,
I was a member of the commission.
you were the head of the commission and Jeff was the chief consultant, right, Jeff? Okay. So you guys proposed to do a 5,000 square foot replication?
We were told to.
A pond, which essentially turned into a BVW, which probably is better in terms of habitat
Yes.
value. But like Amanda says, it would be inappropriate to allow cattle to go in there. I think to keep them out would be a really good thing.
But how do you see the thing, but the person who is planning on purchasing is here and is aware of that. So you want to put something memorialized in the document.
You can do that in the Form 8B, I believe. Take a look at the Form 8B. I think there's a line for that.
Form AB.
there's one about, this is.
Ongoing
This is Form 8.
conditions.
Yeah,
Is that an ongoing condition?
that's what you
ongoing?
do.
But it's not in our listed conditions.
It's not in the list of conditions that was in the original.
Yeah, so we can't like refer to.
We can't
a
refer to
number.
anything in the document.
Oh, well,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Now, do you see what the cycle is? Like, how are they gonna hold them accountable if something's not in the original document?
How about if you do a partial certification?
What will that mean for this debate that's going on?
Is that gonna satisfy the
Yeah.
removal from the deed?
I think we've done it before in other projects, and it actually has gone through
It has?
the bank successfully, yeah. We did it with Stu Fuller on one of his projects. I think we gave him a partial.
Because the trick is getting through the bank.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Because I don't want to put anything and then all of a sudden hold up I don't want to hold up a sale.
I know.
what?
This is the
I don't mind them
one
doing
about
something as
today.
long as they don't hold up a
Wenda,
sale.
What's your opinion on this?
Well, I think that there should be something to keep the cattle out of that area because I think it's been degraded and it needs to have time to restore itself.
It's had 23 years.
Well, it sounds like the cattle have been in there more recent than that, haven't they?
23 years.
I thought you talked like they've been in there
So
recently.
I think that's the
No,
only
that's what he
stumbling
meant.
block.
They've been in there for 23 years.
Oh, all right, yeah,
He's-
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, all right. So,
But y'all remember also, he was saying until recently it was allowable under the laws, so it's not that he was breaking the law.
And in the summer, there's less of them there.
Because there's less water.
Well, they're all over at the marina, enjoying their time at the river.
Well, everyone's got to get a vacation, except working people.
I'm game for it.
Except working people, we don't get vacations.
While they're vacationing at the river, I'm vacationing in the hayfield.
Well, got to do what you got to do.
Well, the commission's not giving away the farm. They can go back.
Can I
If
see,
there's
what is the
issues,
number on
They
it?
can go in and
65-140.
issue a cease and desist or whatever.
I'm just gonna start filling this
I
out.
like
no,
that.
if there's not an existing order of conditions, we cannot rock on private property.
Yeah.
Well, you can get permission.
You can get permission. Can you see it from the road?
No.
I don't think we can do that, Kev. That's the whole point of estoppel. Once we sign off on this, we cannot go back on this project as a 140, as 165-140 moving forward, unless we have some built-in conditions at the tail end.
But it's hard when you have something that's already, there's a couple different ways you can also look at it. Someone arguing the case could say, well, it should have been signed off a long time ago. How are you able to hold, you know what I mean?
Well, if you want to make that argument, you could say after 3 years without a formal extension, it's null and void. You don't want to go that way, because it's very easy to null and void this project, but you don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that either, so that's why I was more in favor of signing off and then, getting to know the new owner.
No, I think a reasonable middle ground is, as Amanda's proposing, we'll put a condition in to have the fence moved and make that part of the sign off.
And that goes as the partial that's saying, once it's all set, you're good. They having a party down there?
No, the finance committee's meeting.
Ooh.
Maybe it is. They lost so much money in the stock market today, maybe they are having a party.
Hey, while we're there, can we have them like tell us how to read these financial statements we get? We've only been asking for almost a decade.
Yeah, but it's probably the financial committee for the school, right?
No, it's the general, it's Glassman and his guys.
Are they deciding who gets paid? That's always fun.
Is his mailing address still the same?
Right now, it is, right?
No, PO Box 147.
Oh,
I'm just
Just
making sure
in
it wants
Granby?
to
Yep.
get to him.
PO Box 147, just that?
See, I've been missing all the fun. Been taking care of my mother and stuff.
On the book and page.
Do you want the folder?
Actual,
Yes, that would be lovely. He's got his hand sanitizer. I'm surprised you're not wearing a mask, although the studies have shown.
No, you don't want to wear a mask unless you're infected.
I know. I said, I'm surprised you're not worried about masks.
Well, my feeling is Harvard, MIT, Smith College, and Amherst College all suspended classes for the rest of the semester. And those people know a hell of a lot more than we do.
Did UMass go?
UMass isn't quite as bright. They haven't done so yet.
It's real simple. I was gonna give you $1 million, Amherst
I
College.
cannot find this information.
But I don't want my kid to get sick, so you either call off classes or you.
Yeah,
How much time do they have left in class, though? Did they call up?
a lot.
Spring break.
Yeah, US, we're up
Next
to,
week is spring break.
yeah, we're up to 900,
Most kids are on sixth break
959
now.
right now.
What, 9:59 for?
The United
It says lot
States.
number 6. Can I just put lot number 6?
Sure.
Because it's just old, the
Yeah.
old lot
Have we-
number.
Oh, the curve's flattening out. a little
There's
bit,
a lot
so it's
number over there.
What, the curve for?
No, I
For
know,
new,
but I
new
can't find any of
cases.
this old school information.
Yeah, but the
Come over
problem,
here and look at it. Come over here.
oh, they're writing that. This is sad, well,
Oh, Massachusetts, we're up to 92 cases.
The
We're
line
at
says
42
the parcel
today, right
number.
now.
Where's it the
92.
cluster?
It's,
No, the problem is they used to give
it
you
says portion of lot
specific
1 and
location.
all
They
of
don't do that anymore
parcel
because they don't want to
6.
scare people. So right now, in Mass,
So,
we're at 92, but here's the
I'm
interesting
hoping that
curve.
this
to
will
look
just
at.
tell me what it
It's
is.
a updated.
I just push on the right button.
And this, I don't think has been updated, but here's the curve, it's going
Not
hyper.
parcel ID, 8C9?
So we went, yesterday we were at 32.8, and now we're at 37.
But this is only based on the information they provide us.
That's China, yeah, China's flattening out, so China, but the other locations includes everything but China. But again, the thing I'm concerned about is Mass. We're up to 92 cases in Mass.
Confirmed or suspected?
This is confirmed.
Okay,
CONFIRMED.
okay.
Which means suspected is probably 10 times that amount. So-
I know that at the school I'm at, we had a college tour that got canceled, like they were gonna do next week, we were gonna do the college tours, and they canceled that.
Well, again,
But
This is what I'm looking at.
but this is the best website, I sent that to you.
Hey, at the St. Patrick's Day
It's from
parade is
John.
canceled. This is serious stuff.
The thing that I find amazing though is you stop and figure that over 12,000 people have died from the flu.
That's an easy year.
But You don't see all the.
The height?
But you don't know the rate, you don't know the rate of transmission, and you don't know the, exact incubation period. There's things you don't know about, which are problematic.
Very true.
Regular flu, you're 3-4 days, you're good. But again, we could have carriers in this room today, and you don't know about it for 2 weeks.
That's why I'm sitting there.
That's right.
I know I sit in a school, which is a nice big
Well,
incubator, so.
that school's not a good place. believe me.
I don't know, like I said.
You know, when I taught university years ago, I was sick all the time. And when I went into private consulting, my illness ratio went down about 95%.
When Nancy started being a school nurse, she was sick for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
It takes, when you get into a new
After
job,
while,
your immune,
built up.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did it, there was I have a regular inoculation of germs.
Yeah,
It's
so lot
pretty
one,
interesting.
all of part B.
But I did do the reading, and the only thing I have noticed is that
I guess
they
I would
aren't
just
saying
leave
what
it.
you
Should I
have,
put the side note,
projected
like
knowledge of how long it
previously?
stays active on
That's
surface.
the problem, that's right. Well, when they started showing people in Asia with bleach and Tyvek suits on and masks spraying down the sidewalks, I said, I think it's more than just aerosol transmission, believe me.
Not
I just want to make
necessarily,
sure it's
though,
gonna come up when it's searched.
because you're talking about
But this
communal.
document is
Listen,
there. and
I just got a new
it's-
laptop computer,
And
it came in
says
from
all of
Hubei
lot
province
B.
in China.
Can't
Maybe it's
remember.
It's on top of my garage, 2-week quarantine upstairs in
All
my
of lot
garage.
one
You have to consider about how much we
or
import.
parcel B.
What I've heard is it's all.
Portions of lot
If somebody
one,
use Your thing,
all
somebody
or
sneezes, droplets
of-
get on the tape.
Oh, yeah.
That's the tape.
Oh, yeah,
It's transmitted that
Is it
way.
portions or
not
parts?
direct.
yep, that's right.
It's not aerosolized,
Well, that's why
it's-
we,
it's-
that's why we do this. I'm surprised you don't have yours with you, Patty.
You want me to be honest?
Yeah,
I'm not in the age range.
yeah, but listen,
But who came out with the age range?
well, it's probably Vice President
I am
Pence.
so stuck with small little children
So,
that, and I have a K-12 school.
Well, actually, a new report came out today that little kids may be highly susceptible to this as well.
Okay, so what I'm saying is I sit in a K-12 school where everything all the time.
now we got all that information.
I have come to
Okay,
the
well, it's
England's
different, so
view
we'll
of
have to
things.
do that.
Let it roll, because there's nothing I can do. There's little kids down, walking down my hallway. We have, I sit at lunch
Okay,
tables
well,
with
then I would
anywhere
throw
from
that in.
first graders to high schoolers. I have no hope.
Oh, yes.
I'd have to put myself in a plastic
In a
bubble.
I know.
So what do you want me to do? Walk around and do it here when I'm working in
Well,
classrooms with
see,
kids who, parents who
listen,
send their children sick because they have to go to work?
I take care of my mom. My mom's 90. She gets this. It's going to be. a
Oh,
problem.
registered land.
Right.
So if it's for myself, I don't care for myself, but.
Oh,
it's for
but
my
you,
mother.
the trick is that you have less point of contact. You have
I'm over
less,
60. It says if
Yeah,
you're
I
over
guess
60,
you would
we're
put
still in a
the date you
susceptible
went out.
range.
Okay.
Those of us over 60.
But where's the other end of this susceptible range?
Well, it's,
Because I'm over 70.
it's respiratory immunocompromised over 60, and I haven't seen the full data on children yet.
No, flu too.
I read different reports and I haven't seen anything.
should you believe everything the
So
government
which
puts
one?
out?
I don't know which one we're doing.
No, I read
yet.
several
just wanted
different
to pull up
reports.
the other stuff since the discussion was still happening.
Did you watch the president's briefing this afternoon?
I don't watch the news.
Either way, some decisions being made tonight, so.
I don't also take my news from news sources, any news source. I usually go to different various research facilities like you do, or I go to something like the CDC or other coordinating places. I don't watch the news. I haven't watched it in years. Makes me for great blood pressure.
Okay, so I filled out the document, and now we just have to decide what's happening.
Make sure the fence, moving the fence.
I just don't know where to,
All right, so ongoing
or where.
condition.
I put in an ongoing
Condition
condition, that's what I
Shall
would put in.
continue.
That's what I would
Include
do.
any conditions in the final order such as maintenance or monitoring that should continue for a longer period.
Maintenance. It's maintenance. Maintenance of barrier to protect said whatever. What is it? A pond, a what is it now? What is it?
Reclamation.
It said a restoration area.
Restoration area to ensure, like, restoration area? So if you say that it's to maintenance to ensure that cattle don't get in there, then we're covered. Because it's saying that they're in compliance, we're just asking them to maintenance that area So is that enough of a wording to say if we notice something wrong, we can file an enforcement? And it's enough to where we can close it out?
The question I have, you're the new owner, sir? Okay. When will you be able to install this new fence location? Can you do this in the next couple of weeks?
I'm gonna help.
You guys are gonna do it, Bill? If you'd call maybe Amanda to go out and look at it, that would be great.
Because ongoing condition is just maintaining that fence.
We could also just mention that number 7, the disturbed soils are gonna revegetate on their own. I mean, it's a.
As long as the
wetland.
fence is maintained.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. If
that's what
there's no cattle in it,
Yeah.
things will grow,
Yeah.
basically.
So I will put that number, whatever that number is.
Plenty of fertilizer, that's for sure.
Oh, it's gonna grow.
You like how I wall and away and in my, see, appropriate, wall and away and then watch. See, appropriate measures. That's how you do that. See, I didn't go towards anyone. So I'm just demonstrating for the public.
You don't know how much you just torture me, that stuff makes me sneeze. I've been holding back the whole thing.
Yeah, this stuff. It just tickles your,
Be
it
maintained,
does make you
Yeah.
want to sneeze. And I don't have a cold.
be protected.
Bill already warned everybody.
You sneeze, I'm going home, I'm going home. You don't need much, you got the form, you're good. I'm gonna go home, you sneeze. I'm serious.
No, yeah.
Revegetation.
This stuff is,
Vegetation.
Although I have to admit, I've been
Oh,
tempted to
just say
pretend to be sick to get the head
vegetation.
line of things. I have considered that thought.
Well, the president says there's test kits for
I
everybody.
should call you and fence
No,
it.
and you believe that.
Great.
Hey,
Oh, you
listen to
believe
the
that?
president. I believe everything the president
Still
says.
check. I don't think we've voted on anything yet, but. Bill, how does this sound?
All right, what do we got?
Restoration area shall be protected from cattle to allow for revegetation, with a reference to bullet point 7 from the conditions.
But that doesn't seem to indicate that the fence shall be relocated.
By maintaining the fence that will be located near said area.
Or,
Yeah,
Amanda's an English major, she
yeah,
can figure
something,
it out.
by maintain, because it's saying maintenance, you're maintaining the fence that protects it from there. And
By maintaining the fence, okay.
well, I don't, because it says maintenance, so if we're saying that they're in compliance, everything's all set, and we're just maintaining a fence, if it falls over, please put it back, don't remove it once the house is sold, the basics. Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think of a way to,
I thought we were relocating the fence.
to my house.
We are, but we're also maintaining it because fences get old.
That's what I'm saying, that's why it's maintenance. Right.
Well, I think the point is we want the fence relocated so that they're not mucking around in the restoration area.
Gotcha.
You got it?
Loud and clear. And camera, just in case.
Because basically number 7 was that they're going to seed and loam or seed and, restore this area until it's revegetated. So this is kind of just an addendum to that.
Yeah.
It will be protected from the cattle. And now,
That's
And
fine.
I wouldn't worry about taking
No
the old one
no
out,
cow
just
shall eat
leave
that
it
grass.
and just put one in the proper spot,
whatever works.
because that's gonna be less
That
disturbance.
way it's protected by 3 sides.
There you go.
Yes, just protect it from everything. Don't want any wildlife getting in there.
Deer,
Yeah,
bunnies,
seriously.
skunks. What else can get in there? Oh, yeah.
My son pulls skunks out of his swimming pool.
Ew. Seriously?
They fall in all the time. I don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah,
Do you not see the large, never mind. It's a skunk.
By maintaining the fence line.
I have
outside of
children
the
who can't notice where their backpack is in the middle of the floor. It's possible a skunk could
Sure.
fall in, I guess.
So we're gonna make a motion here?
I make a motion that we sign the OOC.
Do we, check all that apply. So does that mean we can do a complete
Can we
and a ongoing?
do that?
I don't know.
I think we can. Can't we
Says
complete
check
the
all the
certificate
compliance,
and then
yeah.
check ongoing condition?
Yep.
Is it? Yes, we can.
Sweet. All right,
Sweet.
everybody wins.
Everyone wins.
All right. Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Looks good.
So I make a motion that we sign,
We approve with ongoing
Plans.
conditions, right?
Yes.
approved with
second.
ongoing conditions.
All in favor?
Aye, but I, fabulous.
The ayes have it.
Good. Great. Fantastic.
Alright.
Good job, gentlemen. Very good.
Get your copy, William.
All right, let's see, are we hooked up to the phone?
I've been plugged in.
Is this paper? Is it happy?
It should have paper in it. We'll find out.
Electric fence is your friend. Cows understand electric fence.
Bears too, if you put bacon on it. That's how you keep on them out of beer, out of beef.
You know what the thing my husband did to my kids? He says, here, let me show you an electric, he didn't tell them. He says, hold it, then he turned it on, and he almost like, oh my God. He did not, that's so.
Bill Porter? No. All right, somebody told me you did. I've got it.
Okay. He's gonna have to call you again, because you may as well just do it over. Reflag it. 'Cause he's gonna move his site, he's gonna go ahead with the site plan. If you're up to it, are you up to it, or? If not, yeah.
Do you know the half the things that like dodgeball?
I'm teaching sexual reproduction and
So am I right now.
to my 7th and 8th graders.
No, do you wanna do sexual reproduction in a Christian school? Oh, you don't know.
Yeah, we had some.
I teach at PBC, Pioneer Valley Christian.
No, but you guys agree with the wetland?
So there's people who took it because like they're putting the wetland and I asked them to come in.
Yes.
I don't have to deal with one of the things public school
Is
teachers
this
have to deal
printing?
with. Kevin, what'd you do, get in a fight?
This turned on.
I honestly don't know why it's not working.
But I think I'll just.
I'm attempting to refresh, maybe
Let's get it x-rayed. Yeah, something did that. It's okay.
You know, you heard about Tim, broke his hip.
He what?
He broke his hip.
Well, that's the good news. You could have sprained it. So what are you doing? Take it out?
I would like to take his brain with him. No, he
We're on
broke,
record here, ladies
no,
and
he,
gentlemen.
yeah, I know, he broke the top of his pelvis and they have to replace the whole socket.
With the tape, some kind of a new material.
Yes, they are. But the trick is getting him to go. It's like having a cat take a bath. He has been, they think he broke it 3 or 4 years ago.
Sent to
So he,
And you record it,
so
give
basically.
it to Mr. Powers.
Or, yeah, have it recorded.
Yeah, they record it and then also.
soon when I walk away with that today and give it to, okay.
Yeah. So what he did was they think he broke it years ago.
Is this one on?
They will sign it,
Fragment.
take it to Mr. Powers,
Fragments or the bones
him.
been wearing out.
take it to the registry in Northampton.
Doctor?
Tim, so what happened?
Okay, 413,
Bone wasn't inside.
887,
It just
981.
because it couldn't stay where it should. So then the
What is this printer called? Does it have a name?
Yeah, so his
I
legs
thought it
were
was the
not.
half.
It's an HP.
And it's like, when you broke.
HP LaserJet P4014.
Okay, so why do you use to print?
Stop messing around, get this squared away.
It's
Too young.
It's just, it's not printing, it won't print.
But he broke it. That's why he has a problem. So we're going for the appointment.
What are you doing?
Try to turn it off again somehow?
You had that issue before.
They're good. And so we're going there on the 25th and we're gonna find out when his date is.
You got it in the right
They said
port,
the
obviously.
woman to give her
There's only
back
one.
to work in 2 months.
that's never been relocated, right?
No, we have not touched that.
I don't know.
That
It's
last
going
time.
into your printer.
Yep, came here when it was 87.
Does it see it?
What is it?
Yeah, it says that it's here, and it's not registering as being a thing. We're gonna save it as a PDF and try it that way.
Somewhere.
Twice, and I both pictures. He was a pastor.
Hang on.
He did it all.
It's doing something.
It just took 20 minutes to just think about its life.
Love it.
What is it they need?
We have to go around that house.
There we go. All right.
You all set?
Kind of.
Is the printer not being happy?
It's just feeding itself. I don't know why it doesn't like Word, but it doesn't. So I had to print it via
I'll
PDF.
start signing it and we'll pass it around.
Yes, wonderful. Stapler, great.
Right here? Dan Tackles.
So, did you have one other person matter? There's just people who have permit land in well, so that permit.
I'm not sure about that.
Center Street?
That massive stretch of this giant.
Yeah, how you doing, my
Oh, it's not the one on Center?
Is it the one where there's a corner?
Did you put it in the right order? It's not in the right order. I just did it so that we could sign it.
Because we were here when it was here, and then, okay, well, I just ripped it, so. Sorry, but they've been waiting, because I left, I ended
In there, I saw the.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I saw
So
it.
it's on.
I thought, you know.
Is it the old one
No.
that we had problems with?
No.
Because there's a problem on Center Street too.
No, it's not Center Street. I know exactly what she was talking about.
No, well, there's a problem on Center Street near me. We got an email about that one too. Here. Oh, this is the third page.
All right, authorization.
Here's the third
One,
page.
two. Hey, at least we
That
figured
one's
out.
all kinds of crazy, so that one can maybe be our copy.
Our copy, all right. So this was this is our copy. This folder? All right. There's one,
Yeah, no, because there's a problem on Center Street.
I didn't see Center, I do know the one on East Street because I drive by it on the way to Ludlow every morning. And what he.
Oh, he can't sign.
It's just Bill.
Bill,
Bill,
you need to sign.
Bill, we're still in that. Bill,
Bill, we're in a meeting.
Bill,
Go ahead.
no, we need you to
come over
sign
here.
so we can get this to them.
What?
We need you to sign this so we can get this to them. Trying to finish business.
Just show me the,
Sign.
you hold it, I'm not gonna touch this,
Oh my gosh. You are killing me.
okay?
Paranoid. No, one more. No, we gotta touch one more document.
Eddie, you gonna sign it?
No, he can't, he recused himself. All right.
that is not appropriate signature.
We have it on
Ed, you don't need,
What? It is his hand, we have proof.
what else we got?
Good.
Anything?
It counts.
No consequence?
One, two,
Yeah, I don't need to, just,
one copy, two
that's
copies.
Dave Leonard's report. You gotta talk about, the generic order of conditions for Dave, DeRocher.
We first need to
Yeah.
deal with the people.
That's something
Can we
we'd
do it
have
with the
to
people who've
discuss
been
with.
watching
Waiting
us?
here,
Patiently,
for
yeah.
us.
Oh, you got the complaint people here?
Yes.
One of the
Let's deal
two.
with them, let's take them out of order then. So,
This one,
Because even Center Street is
Let's regroup.
on here.
Have we all
Bill,
signed all of these?
where's your pen? John Hancock is, come on. I'm holding it. No, he won't touch that. Thank you.
For signatures? Great.
For signatures.
So we're only giving them one, right? They get one in their hand and we.
And we keep two.
Okay, great. Well, we have 4 copies.
So maybe the new,
I'll tell you a funny story
the new
about that
owner
later.
can maybe have one.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Billy, good to
Thank
see
you for
you.
coming in.
Good, well done.
If we had 3, why don't we give one to him? Can we
That's
give one
okay.
to him?
Absolutely.
The new
Enjoy your
owner?
new place, Dale.
Here, let's just give him.
All right.
Glad
Here,
we got it
here's one
done.
for you too.
May the plague not follow.
Good luck.
Completed.
One goes to
See, Center Street is
Kathy,
listed here.
one stays in the
Yeah, I
folder.
know. I had looked at that one too, but when I drove by, I didn't know what was happening. Okay, would you folks like to come up? Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
So,
Has everybody signed it?
All right,
so this is over on the corner of Truby and East Street. Actually across from New Ludlow Road.
Yep, I know where it is.
So,
Yeah, everybody can see.
Oh, you guys are 134 East?
139.
Oh, okay, you were cutting trees, right?
You might have-
On the left of your house, okay. I think Amanda went over there.
yeah.
I drive by, I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
Yeah,
How can I not find it?
because whenever you want to find it, you can't.
I'm
It's
in the
got-
wrong
For the
town.
tree cutting and excavator?
No,
I
there's
know,
no.
it's
Did you
actually
just
near
buy
my
that house
house, so
recently?
that's why I saw it and I was like, where's the pink flags?
I think it's gonna be 6 years this
Okay,
year, and we just
okay.
bought the land next door.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there was a guy from Georgia or something?
Yeah.
Oh, so you bought, did you buy the entire
Yeah,
This is
11
my
acres?
line.
Oh, yeah, cool.
This is the
Wow,
line.
excellent,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Where am I? This is,
So this is the property,
this
the,
is,
where you guys live is this corner.
right,
And
this
this-
is East Street,
Yes.
Yes,
and this is
New
New Ludlow.
Ludlow.
New Ludlow Road.
Yep,
And it's this corner?
yes,
Yes.
but they bought the property next door, that
It's-
big
it's
lot
here.
that's all
Oh,
wetlands.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it goes in front of that. It's
Okay.
further. It's like a triangle, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's-
bought that property. I
Huh?
bought that property.
It's flags, I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
flags
guy
out
from
there.
Georgia called me about 8, 9 years ago, and I walked that property with one of the other commissioners, long time ago, long time.
This is a sad story. I guess the owner died and they gave it to his son and then
Yeah.
an aunt and, or his mom had it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think the question was whether or not they could get a building lot in the front there.
Yeah, they were
And
in
it's
there
kind of,
digging it
it's
up.
kind of, it's kind of
Yeah, they said it
questionable.
was unbuildable.
I think it's questionable, yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's questionable. You know, the question is now, if you've acquired it, are you going, what's your real estate taxes gonna be on that?
Well, let's talk to them about what's
Well,
going
all
on.
right,
Yes,
yeah,
let's talk
because,
to them about why we're here
because,
today.
because you might wanna maybe try to APR that or do something with it. Yeah, go ahead, Amanda, with your
all right,
findings.
so,
Okay, so you guys have been cutting basically in this kind of
Yeah.
corner area. And I know that there are flags pretty close to the road over here, and it basically drops pretty quickly off the road down, like it's a lower elevation. So it's
From, you're talking.
from the road, like the road height down to, so it's a good indication of potential hydrology, I guess. And then there's pink flags, which, again, I haven't been back there, I haven't actually seen it, but talking to you guys before.
There are
it's-
blue tags that I think say
Yeah, they
something.
kinda went up to the road, and
Okay.
I thought it was like a perimeter. Like when we bought it, I thought they like flagged it off to see
where the boundaries are.
lot
the boundaries,
was,
Yeah,
They're probably
I think
wetland
for
flags.
wetland flags, they seem to be following
Well, no,
an
if you go
interesting
further
pattern.
back, which is not our property, there are blue tags that say something
Oh.
regarding wetlands.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone else might have flagged off.
I'm not
They
sure.
were Trudy Street.
Yeah, it's hard to know depending on where the property lines are.
Mhm.
But there are rules about like what and how and
Mhm.
things like that. So kind of just to get the conversation rolling, I guess. You
so the other
know-
question would be, is if he's looking to, are you cutting it for yourself, the wood?
The trees that
Yeah.
were standing were like all dead.
Yeah,
and
you're just-
rotted, and I was just they were just ugly to look at, and I was just trying to remove them.
Okay, well, the other thing is,
There's
I know, I've been watching the property for years. It seems like the grassed area has gone further into the woods from what I've seen,
Right.
you know, and I know it is wet in there.
Mhm.
So it's like 100-foot buffer, so you should kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, from the,
And it might be worth
I
it to,
wasn't planning on like pulling the stumps out or nothing.
Okay.
I was-
that's a good idea.
That's-
Yeah, leave stumps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, if they leave the stumps, and then how many acres do you have?
it's, well, total, I think it's just under 13, it's like 12.
Then you're,
Well, combined lots,
Right.
the lot we just bought was 11.
well, the other thing to consider is, you can apply for a forest cutting permit.
Okay.
It'll tell you, and what is harvestable and what you can
Well, it's
actually.
probably, I would assume that place would be like, only if it was frozen, because it's probably.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you have to
But-
do certain best management practices.
Best management practice, but
Yeah.
that's what you can do.
The point is, have you gotten your first tax bill on that piece of land yet?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Did they really sock it to you or no?
No.
Okay, well, that's good.
If
So,
it's
so
not-
they realize it's unbuildable land?
It's unbuildable.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Because you might, sometimes it helps to get an assessment and show that the land is wetland, because it really reduces your taxes, Mark.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
they're.
for some reason, if you get into an issue with the assessor's office, come and see us and maybe we can.
They also have some
provide guidance.
programs, like they have logging programs
Yeah.
where you can log it into a forest management plan and
He
they,
used to work for Wagner Woods.
okay, so you know how all that
Yeah,
works.
because
So that's a good option if your property is a wetland, to
Okay.
get kind of,
Just.
they'll
try
know
to-
legally.
Yeah.
what-
promote, well, because what you do is you can thin it to promote growth of other trees, to make the forest less scrubby, more
Right,
mature.
right. Yeah, they had that little handout, I've got it at
Yeah.
home called Young Forest. Do you have that one from
Well,
the
there's-
conference? It's called Young
One here,
Forest.
this one's about resiliency though,
Yeah.
but there's all kinds of different programs and, basically it also is a tax reduction sort of a thing. And
Okay.
they also give you some benefits for, benefits, but some more freedom with cutting in wetlands.
Yeah, we just acquired it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not pulling the stumps and you're not moving any further, if you want to do any more, we would recommend you doing one of those plants, because
Okay.
that 11 acres of a nice forested area for yourself,
Yeah.
for recreational, walking and use, that's nice.
There's a
That's,
lot of
yeah,
things
that's
to
what,
do.
yeah.
And getting the wetland line delineated, so you just know where
Know
100
where it
feet is and,
Where you can increase to and where you can't, and that way you know what to avoid and what not to, but those are things if you want to continue to utilize the land.
And there already are those wetland flags out there. I don't know who did it, but
They were not labeled.
Yeah,
They were.
are they supposed to write on those?
Mhm.
Or- Yeah, they were just.
Aren't they supposed to be
flags.
numbered in coordination? with
I
the
think
land?
usually they
Yeah.
would be if it was like a formal thing, but if a wetland scientist went out there and flagged it and did all the work, could we just look at them and see if it looks right? And be like,
Well, wait.
this is a good indicator
Yeah.
of where you be careful.
The
at this
pink ones had nothing on them, the blue ones did, but that was like very far into the woods. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think that was the one I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
The neighbors.
Takes to the soil borings.
Right. Oh, when you're there seeing if they can
Soil
perk the
boring,
land, yeah.
No, the hydraulic,
Hydraulics, yeah.
boring.
Gotcha.
Non-hydraulic, hydraulic soil, the test borings.
right, yeah.
But I don't think we should go out there and walk
No.
it, because
Okay.
we're not, if they wanted to find out, we can file a request for determination.
If I do a cutting plan, do I have to come see you guys or they?
Forester.
No, you hire the
Forester.
forester takes care of everything.
Yeah, they do
Okay.
everything
Yep.
for you.
And you guys, if you work for Wagner, you probably
Yeah.
know some of those.
They'll do it.
Okay.
And then that puts you as, this is what you're doing. They'll flag which trees you can remove.
And
For-
then we actually get a letter.
We just get a letter, we can look it
notification, so
over.
then
and
when we
we-
see you doing that, like,
Yeah.
we already know, like,
Okay.
oh, they're cutting in a wetland, but we got a
You have to
notice.
Approve it, I would assume.
No.
right?
No.
Oh,
Not our jurisdiction.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
kind of
So we
supersede
have a
us.
folder of
But it allows you then
notifications.
to know which trees to harvest, for what your purpose is, how much wood you're harvesting out. So, and then some companies, they'll take the wood and you can actually make money off of your own land. And then after a certain amount of years, you can continue to do that again. And they harvest it and they give you money. And they have all their own equipment and do it at their cost. So if you have that many acres and you have a mature area and you're leaving it to grow, then that's actually a nice little turn on your investment,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's nice.
Because they'll also
Better
tell
than
you,
looking
which-
at house.
well, the trick is they'll tell you
That's
which
what I was
wood,
worried
they'll
about.
look at the wood and grade it out. Like when I had it done, we had it graded out where which trees were worth harvesting, which ones we should leave alone and for when. And then if we wanted another plan, we could harvest other things later. So it's a sustainability plan too.
Yeah, you
which
want
is-
to be a steward of the land.
Yeah.
A steward of the land.
But that's actually a good way, and then the companies, I know a lot of them on Burnett Street, people were coming through and they would walk in and say, do you want us, they would put the plan together, they would bring their equipment in, they would forest, and out they went, and then they said, we'll be back in X number of a decade and come and get more. So, it's a nice little investment.
That's good, I'm glad you came in.
Thank you for coming, thank you for
Thank
watching
you.
the show.
We'd rather educate.
There you go.
For sure.
And hey, and I'm glad you guys are coming tonight, because
Yeah.
then you
Thank
don't
you.
have to make this
Yeah.
notify you and you'd be waiting
Yeah.
a month, like,
I'm
what's
sorry
gonna
I
happen?
ambushed you, but I just got back
Oh,
from
no.
work, and I was
You're-
like, this day is like already, because I
completely
work in
understand.
Amherst, next to Amherst College. So I
So,
had
so
to
you,
wait today.
they didn't tell you not to come into work with a
I work at
virus?
Amherst Farmers Supply, we're like right
Oh, you do?
next
Oh,
door.
God.
So
Wow.
I
Here,
have
here,
to
take some of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're
I'll be surprised if we're, next week.
Yeah.
We'll
Wow.
see.
We're all watching.
Be
Yeah.
safe, be safe.
All right, thank you.
Thanks
Thank you for
coming
coming in.
Thank you.
Okay,
Next.
let's push ahead here quickly as we can.
What's the
got
next
next?
one? Center Street, is that?
Center Street, I don't know what's going on there.
What is he here for?
Kathy sent the guy a letter. I think he lives out of town.
Yes.
He might live in
I
Chicopee.
think he does. I checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
And
read
he's
about.
obviously not here, so, okay.
What's next?
Oh.
Well,
Gravel
sir.
permits.
Oh, Dave's a buddy of mine, he's a golfing buddy of
Oh,
mine.
all right,
Gravel
okay.
permits. We're still stuck on these gravel.
Yeah, I
permits.
can know that they have a road through that wet field going out to the back parcel on Center Street.
Yeah, I went by there.
I know we told the guy to flag it and then come in.
Yeah, I remember,
If he was gonna
we
do
dealt with
anything.
that parcel a few times over the past few years.
We did.
I could have sworn someone came in for a building permit on that.
They
in the
did.
last
No,
couple
he
of
talked
years.
to us about what they thought they could do back there. And Brooks said, kind of told him where the wetlands might be,
Oh.
but nothing is officially
Well, too
flagged.
bad.
Well, the
Kevin's
driveway
not
that's
here.
there is pretty mucked up. It's all
Yeah,
rutted.
that whole field is wet.
Looked
as far as
hydrant
I'm
to
concerned.
me,
It's very rutted.
And the perennial stream's right there,
yeah. Well, he's
They're
in the
probably-
riverfront then,
within 200 feet.
okay. All right.
I didn't realize that was part of Maudette Taylor,
Oh, yes, it was.
that whole field
It was,
across the way.
It was, yes.
What,
All right, gravel pits, Ed.
Andrix?
Can't do it.
No. It looks like it's approved.
I don't know.
Wenda went out there
How you
for
doing?
Andrix. But you're asleep.
So I don't know what the problem is, why there's
Why they
still,
keep getting on the agenda, I have no idea.
Well, there was that one that we haven't done yet.
The Rockies.
It's the north of
Okay.
Milwaukee across the street on Carver.
Oh, does anyone have his number?
Oh, yeah, Amanda's been- he's got his private
handful of
number, right?
numbers.
I thought
Eventually, I
you
got
Jim
to a
Rogers'
lady's cell
private
phone.
phone.
Same number that's been pushed
Was
out.
accurate. The first.
That number's
dozen
bad.
were not- well,
That's not a good
It's
number.
3 or 4. We're not
Oh my
accurate.
is there a phone number on there?
It's just-
They're not accurate, we're.
Yeah, I was
not
looking
reaching.
up, I actually started cold calling Narakis in Granby.
Mm-hmm. That's
Got the
great.
wrong one.
That's great.
And, yeah.
There.
You could actually call their gravel operation, I'm sure.
Here, I don't know if that's the right
That was
number.
what I did. It's out of, all of the numbers are out of service.
I don't wanna say it over the phone.
I know, I don't want to say it either, and I'm not touching phones, so.
That's okay, I'm gonna just, 1 second.
I should have brought Cavicide, that's a real bad chemical.
Okay, stop, we don't want to die from
No.
antibacterial.
My sister
antivirus.
called me, she's like, you better get to the grocery store and go get some food.
I went to the Big Y today.
All right, so gravel permits, we only
Grab some
have,
toilet paper.
is
Oh,
the
no,
Rockies.
That's a New
So,
York thing.
I'm sorry, I had to
I'm
laugh.
not sure why that's still
My
there.
daughter said they're
You
doing
call
that in
Jim?
New York City, all the toilet paper's off the shelves. It's
That's what Jimmy
crazy.
is.
I will.
All right, this David DeRocha thing.
I don't know what that letter is.
Well, here's the question. He should be submitting to us his EDEP file. We're not gonna type the damn thing up for Dave, are we? Let
No.
Dave type it up, and then send it to us on EDEP.
That's
and
how
then we'll
everyone
act.
else does it.
Yeah, so.
Why do we have to do it?
So I'll talk to Dave on the phone and say, Dave, please submit your EDPE filing. Let him do it.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it's gonna take us 2 hours to type the thing up.
Oh, that number is inaccurate. I called that number several times.
That's what I have.
All right, so.
So maybe,
Dead end.
maybe
Guess I'm
we
gonna have
should,
to call his
what,
work
you
again.
know what we could do is put it in the folder, say, we need a
Huh.
viable phone number on the application.
Send him a postcard.
Put a post-it and say,
There
we
you
need a
go.
viable number.
Send him a postcard.
Well, Kathy did get
Well,
me
maybe
his
they're out
wife's
of
number.
business, Ed,
I
now
just
that
felt
they got
weird
the
leaving
solar
a
farm
voicemail
going
on
in.
it.
Maybe
Also,
they
I
just
didn't know it was
stopped
his wife the first
operations.
time I called her.
But the thing is that if you're gonna fill out an application, they should put a number that's viable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it just is. That's-
Yeah.
If you want an application, the right application information should be on there. Or, we're not, so you don't have to.
So
cold
Kevin's
call
not
people.
doing well, huh?
He's doing
Let's
okay.
talk, keep on subject matter.
He's on the walker, but what
So
happens.
next, what do we got?
All right, let's go. Let's gravel permits, I'll put that right there.
Yep. And then we went, so we went with East Street, we got Center Street. What is?
DCR Forge Pond, we have the phase 1 study for Dufrane's.
Nice, big packet.
Now, here's the thing, that's gonna come out of our account. Remember, we had the big issue?
Yes.
We're paying for that, which is not appropriate,
Right.
because I looked that
No,
up.
we
very, very
appropriate
carefully.
money for the Forge Pond, I thought, at one of our
Right,
town.
Yeah,
but
we
it's
did.
not coming out of our administrative fee account, that's the point. They take it out of our fee account, and they're not supposed to do that.
They're not supposed to, they have to take it out of the other account.
That's why we cannot approve that, because if we approve it, they'll try to take it out of our account. Let the selectmen approve it.
That's fine.
Okay. Works for me.
Yeah, so I wouldn't opine on that at all.
Are we going to just let the selectmen take the reins on phase 1 and phase 2 studies from this point forward?
I would, because Dave's gonna do it for us anyway. We have no input, we have very little input on this.
So should we put a note in Kathy's folder for Dave DeRozier to send us a EDEP form?
You want to call Dave
I
tomorrow?
will, oh yeah.
All right.
We'll contact Dave.
Yeah, I gotta talk to Briggs and I'll talk to Dave DeRozier.
Last thing on the agenda here, or something, this is under new business, it looks like. I've got a letter from the Steve LaPlante Realtor. He represents 193 Amherst Street, subdivision of the property. We are interested in doing a perk test, south side of the property, lot 1. For access to rear of lot 1 to perform the perk test, we would need to cross through a wetland buffer. Please see the enclosed survey. I drew a red dotted line in the appropriate path we would take to get to the perk
That's
site.
one of the lots near the lake, right?
No,
Aldridge
Near the lake, yeah, isn't that the one further down?
Yeah. Bob Sheen Jr. will be performing the test perk, and Greg Emerson Septic will be the excavator. Greg Emerson asked me to check with Conservation about the perk test. Greg to make sure it's okay.
Do we have an address to put up on the map?
Well, I recommend they hire a consultant. They're gonna need a consultant anyway to build the house, right?
This is near that old farm, Keysor,
Yeah,
right across from
yeah,
Keysor.
yeah.
This is, I'm not gonna make a statement on that because
But-
it's not accurate for us
But-
to make a
But
determination.
shouldn't they be before us to present this and not a letter?
I would say it's at minimum an RDA.
Yep, I hear you.
But he wants to go in just to do
the
perk test.
The plan that's provided is not that accurate.
Who's the homeowner, what's their name?
Can you bring it up on the
There's
map?
someone that called me.
Do we have an address?
South of 193 Amherst Street.
Who's the homeowner?
Who's the homeowner?
There's
There's no information provided on this. This
Let
isn't,
me
in-
see, because someone called me from California about a job like that. Let me see if that's.
right, but there's nothing,
Is it near Notch Place?
It's right across from Keysor Street. Keysor.
Keysor.
Right there, you got it. See that? Yeah, right lower, right there.
That's a big swamp.
155?
Yeah,
That's a swamp.
north of that.
Oh, is this Notchview?
No, south of that.
Where the old
There you
road
go.
is?
right there.
Down, put the cursor up, down,
Jennifer Gunter King.
left, right in there. So he's coming in through the property line in the wetlands.
Oh, here it is.
Is this the old road? No? Is this Notchview?
No, it is not.
Ed, question for Ed. R.A. Farisi,
Bob Foresti, yeah.
do you know him? Is he a wetland scientist?
No,
He's a land surveyor, right?
that's correct.
Yeah, I would recommend have him have a wetland scientist delineate the
Well, that's what I
wetlands.
mean,
That's
we can't
bullshit.
say
That's
in this
baloney.
format that's presented to us,
That's
we
beef.
can't make it, we
No.
can't make a decision based on this.
No,
It's not
and
appropriate.
we have no way to question him. We have no one to ask a question or clarify. You need to be
So
present.
put a sticky note that said,
At
Kathy, they
minimum.
need to come in.
They need to come in.
Yeah.
RDA and they need to come in.
I think at minimum RDA.
RDA.
Yeah, and someone's gonna have to delineate the line because it's a very limited access.
It's very narrow.
You know what it looks like geometrically? It looks just like Kendall Street, if you look at it. Looks exactly like Kendall Street.
The one
Yeah,
that
but
just
you-
came in?
You can't ask us on a letter and a drawing. You could send us anything you want and we don't know it's
Yeah.
really true. no way to question what the intent of the owner is. The intent to sell? Is the intent to do a house? What is the intent? I mean, obviously to sell a building lot, but if you notice there's a big
Hey,
wet.
listen, you know how many acres is that, Ed? 100
I
acres?
have no idea.
Be a nice subdivision, wouldn't it?
It's too wet.
You have to get across it.
That, if you remember last meeting, there was a couple that came in to us. They bought the lot to the north of the farm, and they had the same questions. We told them that you need to get it flagged.
Same, I agree, same thing.
Yeah.
All right, gang.
Okay, we have a motion. I don't have anything else on the
Nothing
agenda.
else? We're good?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.